Hello, fight fans, and welcome to Fight News Now Extra. It's John Pollock here with you. John Ramdeen and Robin Black are coming up to chat all of today's stories, including a rising UFC star put on the shelf. Wanderlei Silva responds to Sonnen's fight offer, and UFC 167 gains another welterweight bout. It was revealed on Thursday night that UFC featherweight Conor McGregor has done more damage to his left knee than originally thought. The initial prognosis was a strain, but UFC President Dana White confirmed on Fox Sports Live Thursday that the Irish native had torn his ACL, strained his MCL, and also has a meniscal tear of the posterior horn. What does that mean? Probably a minimum of 10 months on the shelf. McGregor injured the knee in his win over Max Holloway this past Saturday night in Boston. Dana White spoke to MMAfighting.com journalist Ariel Helwani on Thursday, stating that Wanderlei Silva has turned down the fight with Chael Sonnen for the proposed November 16th date that was thrown at him. Silva only wants to fight if he will get a back end of the pay-per-view revenue, to which White alluded will never happen, and texting to Helwani, quote, "I guess he's going to retire." A fight that is going to happen on November the 16th in Las Vegas at UFC 167 is the newly added Josh Koscheck versus Tyron Woodley welterweight bout. Koscheck was last in action in February, where he was stopped by Robbie Lawler in the opening round and then was injured and had to pull out of a fight with Damian Maia earlier this summer. Woodley is 1-1 thus far in his UFC campaign, with a knockout of Jay Haran in February and a decision loss to Jake Shields at UFC 161 this past June. And we are joined by John Ramdeen and the returning Robin Black, who was battling some major food poisoning this past week. Glad to see you have color in your face and you seem to be doing okay.
Yeah, feeling better for sure.
All right, big debate going on in the industry, everybody. It was announced on Thursday Ben Affleck is going to be playing Batman. This has been a very polarizing decision, but usually polarizing involves people that are in favor of the decision. I can't believe the anger at people towards Ben Affleck here. I feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons why is because they remember his version of Daredevil. I was a big Daredevil fan growing up, and it just didn't work for me, and I love Ben Affleck. You look at his career, come on. He directed Argo, he wrote Good Will Hunting, he was in Reindeer Games. What more do you want?
Reindeer Games? Really? We're going to Reindeer Games now? Look, I hope Chael Sonnen calls this idiot out.
The best tweet I saw was some father who said, "I go and watch all these superhero movies because of my kids, but Ben Affleck as Batman makes me love my kids just a little less." Let's get into fighting right now. Terrible injury here to Conor McGregor. I spoke to him right after that fight against Max Holloway. He was noticeably limping in the back, and he was just indicating that, he thinks he popped it, didn't assess it to be anything too bad, but we had first heard maybe a sprain, just a couple of weeks of rehab, but now torn ACL, sprained MCL. I mean, this is serious, and 10 months, I think that is conservative for a torn ACL. This is what took George St-Pierre out for a very significant period of time, for a year and a half.
Yeah, well, number one, maybe that sheds some light on the situation in terms of Conor McGregor. So much hype coming into the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and didn't have one of those career-defining performances against Max Holloway. Max Holloway, only 21 years of age, relatively new to the big show, and for a guy like McGregor to have so much hype, he should have gone out there and buzzsawed him. And obviously, when you have an injury like that, it will prevent you from having one of the best performances you can have.
Yeah, and when you look at it retrospectively, all of a sudden it's a really good performance because he was able to operate with one leg. But not only that, physically, but mentally. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, my leg is shot. What do I do? Go into your corner, going, man, my leg is bad. Just like whatever. Oh, this one doesn't work. I'll have to fight him a different way. That mentality proves that this guy is really legit.
And you mentioned George St-Pierre. Well, the UFC has already rallied behind Conor McGregor. They believe that this guy is going to be a star, so I would expect that they're going to try to give him the same type of treatment they gave George St-Pierre for his rehab.
We'll find out. For St-Pierre, it was from the time he got injured to fight. That was 14 months.
Oh, wow.
He was rehabbing that. So Conor McGregor obviously kind of out of the picture right now at 145 pounds.
Which is unfortunate, as considering the fact that he just called out Diego Sanchez. And right
not
now
even in his weight division. He called him fat and sloppy.
The thing about Conor McGregor is he's fought at 155 pounds.
He was a champion at 100.
Yeah, and I think this is what the landscape of mixed martial arts should be all about. It shouldn't be Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. It's Conor McGregor against the best opponent for him, the one with the most hype, the most interest surrounding it. And a fight with Conor McGregor and Diego Sanchez, people are going to tune into that.
Yeah, man.
Wanderlei Silva and Chael Sonnen, it looks to be off the books, at least for now. Wanderlei Silva, he wants a back end
Pay
at
him.
the pay-per-view.
Pay him.
In this case, though, you're looking at this, and for that card with George St-Pierre and Johnny Hendricks, or the year-end card here, I don't know if necessarily, it's not as if that fight is going to carry that pay-per-view. You already have a ton of people buying that. I can see the argument that it's like, you know, these two are a nice support fight to have on this card, but they are not the draw.
And that's why Wanderlei says, nope, not this card. We're going to do it on one where I will get the back end of the pay-per-view, one where we are headlining it. This guy's using my name, dragging it through the mud. I'm a legend, and this guy's going to do that with my name. I want my name getting paid. And this guy deserves it. And all you idiots who are writing stuff on the internet about Wanderlei sucks and he's a bitch and all this stuff should be ashamed of yourselves.
Not only, it just shows that these people are idiots. They have no idea what they're talking about. Wanderlei Silva is a guy that comes to entertain as long as he has a great dance partner. We know that Chael Sonnen, what's he going to do? The same thing he did against Shogun. Try to put this fight down to the ground and exploit any type of weaknesses Wanderlei Silva has on the ground. Wanderlei Silva is a guy that lives by the sword. He dies by the sword. That's why an opponent like Rich Franklin or Brian Stan is perfect. They're going to stand and trade, and the crowd is going to get their money's worth. Wanderlei Silva, one of the legends. This guy should be getting paid millions and millions of dollars for his fights. It's just unfortunate the UFC feels this way. And if they don't want to pay it on the Johnny Hendricks George St-Pierre fight, save Wanderlei Chael Sonnen for them to headline a different show.
Pay him.
I wish these guys would offer their opinion a little on how they feel about this situation. We have more Fight News Now Extra, and it's coming at you right now.